Hello and welcome. So, today I'm going to have a look at the Guardian Quiptic crossword, and this has been set by Anto. Now, Anto is always quite a difficult setter, and some weeks I've really struggled on the Quiptic with Anto to the point where I've given up with 7 or 8 left. So, depending on how it goes, it may go well, it may be difficult, it may be easy. Or I don't think it'll ever be easy, but I think it may be more approachable, and I can get through it. So we'll have to see. I haven't got anything more to say, really. I'm just going to crack on. Fire that awful person taking pictures. Seems like it's now going to fire that person taking pictures. Fire that hat fat. Can't see anything there. A craving to be settled. Is that a double def? A craving to be settled. Okay. Type of service frowned on in hairy location. Type of service frowned on in hairy location. Type of service frowned on in hairy location. Is that a hidden word? No. Cringed having brought drinks for about 800. Well, 800 would be AC. Having brought drinks would be around. Cringed about 100. Cringed AC somewhere in there. What would you, having bought drinks catered. We've got cringed ED. ACAD. Can't think what that'll be. Player rings around, so that's what, 11 letters? Yep, I've got 11 letter clue. Rings around when season is just starting. When season is just starting is well, could be the solstice, I suppose, the equinox, but they don't seem to fit. I mean, player rings around could also be putting a word for rings around a player, which would be very hard. And season is just starting. Golly. Refusal to take a check for tortilla. Refusal is no or nay. To take a check. Is that nacho? I think it's nacho, isn't it? No. Yeah, a check. No. Nacho. There we are. Got one last no with it. ACH. Not aware of CH being an abbreviation for check, but there you go. Abusive about Victor being broke. So Victor is a V in the NATO phonetic alphabet. Abusive is 8 letters. Being broke is, if it's an anagram of abusive with an extra V in it. I mean, broke can either mean you've got no money, or it can mean something is broken. But neither is kind of coming to me as an answer. Take care of appearance at later stage. After care. No, take care of appearance. Take care of appearance at later stage. I think that's an afterword. Second, I've got no real proof of that. Let's move on. We often report substandard electrical leads. So is that just a acrostic? That's not so good. Which is worse. Now, acrostic for worse. That's not so good. Forced criminals to get educated. Educated is 8 letters. Get is 3 letters. Criminals could be a conscripted. I think that's more likely to be something like is forced. Forced is conscripted. To get educated, scripted. Not entirely sure about that, but cons are cryptid. No, cons. Cons what? Not conscripted. Cons. Cons are criminals. Get educated is learned. Taught. Cons taught. Constrained. Constrained. Trained. They are constrained. In bed I use less energy for sex. It's a hidden word there. Eddie. I don't think so. Sex would be gender, maybe. I mean, it's not technically, but gender, cot is a bed. I use less energy for sex. Okay, let's go from there. Exhaust broken by stick. Exhaust is to tire. Stick. I mean, stick can be criticism. It can be a rod. It can be a pole. Exhaust could be a vent. Broken by stick. Okay, delicacy is not commonly available in dingy housing. Sorry. Delicacy is not commonly available in dingy housing. Again, I don't think there's a... I keep looking for hidden words, I can't see one there. So what's the final across clue? Identifies aisles to change. I mean, that's just an anagram of aisles too, isn't it? Identifies would be... I'm going to have to do the thing, aren't I? I'm not going to get away with not using this. Aisles 2. Isolates. Identifies. Isolates. Yeah, I think isolates is a word. I think that's a... If you isolate a variable in chemistry, you're identifying the variable or something. I don't know. I'm not sure about that really. It's not one of those words I'd say, oh, well, I'll put them in isolation as a way to say I've identified someone, but I think it is correct. A charming view that can't be seen in square, for example. A charming view that can't be seen in square, for example. Round, something about round. I really feel like square is just leading me towards that, with that end down there, to be a 9 or something. Probably isn't, but that's how I feel just reading. Time VCR editor worked. So time is 4, VCR is 3, editor worked to become program maker. Editor is 6, VCR is, so is it TVCR editor, which is 2. Can't be direct. Let's go with that. TVCR editor. TV creditor. Which gives us... I think it's either 2 or do at the start. Directive. I'm going to put directive in there because I think that's the word. Does it fit direct? Actually, it doesn't fit. Let's see how that goes though, anyway, in the anagrams, if that gives me anything. TVCR. Oops. Editor. 2. Yeah, that's not really going to happen, is it? Okay, let's take that out for now. I still think that might be 2 though, so... quite resilient comic author. Oh gosh, quite resilient comic author. I don't know who a comic author is off the top of my head. I'm not good on authors. Reconstruction of Paris, letting, gets very noisy. Is that an anagram of Paris is 5, letting is 7? Which would be 12 letters. Gets very noisy. It's probably an ing word, isn't it? Let's try an ing there, just see how we go. Paris letting. C plattering. Art. Very noisy would be... Could be air something. Air. Alp. There's an air, so that leaves me PLTSE. It may not be a ing word. Let's take those out. Come back to that as well. Another one to come back to, as they seem to be a lot of. Take one's time, reversing difficult racing conditions. Difficult racing conditions, the ground going is hard to soft, I think I say. Soft to hard, hard. Taking one's time, reversing difficult racing conditions. I'm not sure what racing conditions are, other than the firmness of the ground, firm, soft, hard. Makes me think there's a draw, maybe. Conditions. Draw backwards is ward. Can't quite get to anything from the taking one's time is to... Yeah. Preachings contain something that's for everyone. Each. If that C is correct, then each and everyone. Something not working with English chap. Something not working with English would suggest E. E something. Or something with E. I assume it's not just tone, T-O-N-E. I mean, ignore the fact I've got an E. I'll put the ED there. I'll take that off now. I have the about 100. AC for 100 there. I think there's an E there. Food often seen walking around farm. Food often seen walking around farm. Proving position is not right. I mean, that suggests it's port or left, but left and port won't fit in there. Proving position might be set. Is not right. Could be an ing word there, but what that give me, I'm not sure. Excuse me. They help stand a tent that's knocked over. I'm thinking of tent poles and guy ropes. They help stand a tent that's knocked over. Is that an anagram of stand a tent? I mean, it looks like it could be with the ED and S there. Attendance, I think that'll be. Makes sense. A-T-T-E-N-D, attendance. 2 A's, 1 E for attendance. Yeah, stand a tent, fair enough. They help. What's this? Honour of getting credit for touching report. On account? Getting credit. Credit is... Well, why is that? On account? O-U-N-T. That was on account. Yeah, if you get credit, you get something on account, don't you? I don't quite understand the touching report part, really. I mean, you give an account, it's report, touching. Not sure about the on bit, but yeah, on account. Okay. Valuer calls regularly, so I've got an A and an L. A-U-R-A-L. Aural. Aural, related to hearing. Oh, U-R-A-L, fair enough. First class, date passed without trouble. First class. There's a lot. First class could be tip-top. Date passed without trouble. So that makes me think without ill or without ale. What date am I looking? First class. Male. Date passed. Is that? Yeah, just not really helping me, is it? Skirt that essentially limits riding. So essentially is saying take the middle letters of HA. Limits of riding is RG. Doesn't really work. Limits riding. Hog. Don't think so. Okay, well, I've got a few more on the board, so not many more, but a few. Let's see if we can work out. Let's look at this one, 25. Exhaust broken by stick. Nope. This one, proving position not right. I've thought about that already, haven't I? Could be out, I suppose. Something out. Could be down. Broken by cyst. Have a look at 24. In bed I use. I mean, coitus. Yeah, coitus. So, so we've got use without the e for energy. We've got a cot with an I in it, and sex is coitus. Look at this one then. First class date passed without trouble. First class is C. Date passed without trouble. Not sure. This one. Skirt that essentially limits. Kilt. Riding. Could that be kilt? Or would that be right to say a skirt is a kilt? I don't think so. Okay, well, not great. Let's have a look at some of these clues I looked at before and didn't really have a clue on. Didn't know what I was doing. Okay, so we've got fire that awful person. Fire that awful person taking pictures. So is that anagram of fire that? In which case, what is it? Fire that. Hat. Hat fighter. Doesn't really work. Tire. Hit. Hit after. Fire. I can't see that being an anagram, to be honest. This one, a craving to be settled. Longing, yearning, urge. A craving. Yeah, I'm not sure my wordplay is good enough for that one. Type of service frowned on in hairy location. I've got very little idea what's going on there. I mean, if it isn't a hidden word, and that would be a long hidden word going across there. Type of service, could be a dinner set, I suppose. Frowned on, is that just an anagram of something? Can't see that one. Cringed, having bought drinks for about 100, so there's my AC. Cringed is grimaced is player rings around when season is just starting. Oh, I was going to try that as an anagram, wasn't I? Player rings. I don't think it is, but I mean, Anto isn't that. Just doesn't seem that kind of setter would do something that simple, really. Player rings around when season is just starting. Spring is there, isn't it? I think spring is there. Let's put spring as a word, and then see if I've got another word. See if the other half of that player rings gives me an anagram for springs. Really, yearly, yell spring. Years, could be years. Leaps. Layer, spring. Could be layer, I suppose. I don't know. Is that a word? Is that really a phrase? When season. Could be winter, I suppose. Winter would fit as 6 letters. Some would fit as 6 letters. see if that helps me on any. Taking one's time. Difficult racing conditions. Reversing difficult racing conditions is not sure. Couldn't do that, could I? Couldn't unravel that if it is an anagram to be unravelled. A charming view that can't be seen in square, for example. Take care of appearances. Look after. Later stage, I suppose. Look after. That makes sense. Take care of is to look after. Appearance at later stages, you'll look after. There we go. Time VCR editor still fits here. A program. Is it a VT director? Let's put director in there. Which I kind of. What does that leave me if it is? TVCR. I can type the correct letters. TV director. What am I thinking? VT. Run VT. TV director. Okay. Fire that off person. Sack is the word that keeps coming to mind for fire. Set. That person taking pictures is a set. Don't know. Okay, we've got D here. Type of service. Frowned on in hairy location. It's just a very poor surface, really. I mean, the locations aren't hairy, so it doesn't really make any sense in that respect. This one, a charming view that can't be seen in square, for example. Something N, something L should feel like it should be biffable now, but it ain't. Snail, something snail. Let's have a look. Crosswords. What letters can we have? A, N, something else, I think. Not B, but BN. Banal. Get rid of that. BN. CN doesn't work. DN doesn't work. EN. Angle. Something angle, isn't it? Square could be an angle, I suppose. Angle. Yeah, that's a view. Right angle. A charming view. That can't be seen in a square. Well, squares have got right angles. Is that right? Is it a right angle? I mean, you get right angles in squares all the time, so how would the clue then divide? Seen in square, for example, would be a right angle. A charming view that can't be would be. I'm not convinced by that, to be honest, being right angle. A charming view, but you know, the charming view would be the right angle, but that can't be seen. Kind of throws it on the square side. I mean, if that's the case, then awful person is a rat, or can only be a rat, really. Rat, rit, rot, rut, rat, fire, rat. Which makes it another reason why I don't think it's not sure about right going there. This one, type of service, frowned on in hairy location. Not sure. This becomes player rings around when season is just starting. It can't be an anagram now if it is a T. So I'm not particularly convinced by right being there, but at least we got a bit more, got the angle part. Right, let's go on to here. Quite resilient. I think that might be a triple definition. Is quite resilient and comic author. 5-letter comic author. Does Oscar Wilde count as that? I mean, but Wilde isn't resilient. Okay, so I think quite resilient is actually thinking of a word like strong. And then take a letter off of that. Don't quite finish it off. To get to a comic author, Edward Lear. Sturdy. Steady, stead, stead, is stead. Alright, let's come from there. Reconstruction Paris. Okay, we've got the T in the end. Let's have a look at Paris letting. Oh, actually, let's just do the same as did last time, really, because that was all I had then. Reconstruction Paris letting gets very noisy. Would be what is it? Pig something. Pig littering. Don't think that's a phrase. Lap, lip, lop, rip, rap, rop, rap. Gets very noisy. All. Can't be all because there's only one L. Sit. I can't unravel that without some more letters in it, really. I think that I've got no idea about. So where was I down to? I think I was looking at the crosses, wasn't I? That one I can't do. That one I can't do. Abusive about Victor. Okay, so yeah, so about Victor, I've got a T on the end. Being broke. I think there's a V in there, so I just need a word for abusive to go around a V to get the being broken is. Being broke, sorry, is skint, is penniless. Not sure. Let's go on, have a look at where I'm going to next. I've got quite a few of the crosses then, by the looks of it. This one was the stick one, wasn't it? Exhaust. Broken by, worn out. Worn down. They can't be worn. Wear down. Exhaust. If you exhaust something, you wear it down. Why would that be broken by a stick if it was wear down? Because I quite like the idea of having out in here for no particularly good reason, other than positions and out, and not being right is sort of suggests maybe out could be a three-letter word that finishes it. Proving, working out. Position is not right. Yeah, working out. No, it can't be proving, working, because that R's in the wrong place. I was quite happy then for a moment that I might have cracked it. Wear down, exhaust, broken by stick. Food often seen walking around farm. Oh gosh, I haven't actually thought about that clue too hard, have I? Food often seen is 13 letters, so it's not an anagram of food often seen. Walking around farm. Let's take that T out, because I'm not, sorry, the E. It's the E that's in the wrong place. There we go. Wrong one. Food often seen walking around farm. So farm, dairy farms, crops. I mean, I suppose that could be the point. Is it could just be, if it's crop, it could be crops, couldn't it? So it could actually be the walking around could actually be misleading it from being an animal to being some kind of crop. Farm. Fritters would fit. Fritters. Beef fritters, does that? Often seen. I'm just wondering if there is some kind of anagram in there. With that walking around feels like an anagram thing to me. Seen. Farm is 8. 4, 4, but often is. So I don't think so. Delicacy is not commonly available in dingy housing. is not commonly available. Most think there's an isn't there, but delicacy is not commonly available. Is rare, rarity. In dingy housing. What's dingy housing? It's ghetto. Is that fair to say ghetto? Don't think so. Some kind of sty. Not commonly available is rare, isn't it? But I haven't got enough letters to put rare in there. Let's have a look at this one. First class. This first class date passed without trouble. First class is tip top. Date passed without trouble is okay. Pass out without trouble is okay. It's fine. It's date could be to see someone. Skirt, that essentially limits riding. I mean, essentially suggests it needs some letters from the middle of something, which could be the MI of limits. Then the middle letters are limits. MI, skirt. Riding though, 2 letters. Word that means skirt. Means skirt can mean to go around as well as a piece of clothing. Mini? MI? I would think that's mini. So MI for limits essentially, but riding, NI? MIDI. I think it's a MIDI, isn't it? I think that's actually a MIDI skirt, so the DI is the middle, the essential letters of riding. I think. That was not particularly easy to get to. Vaguely heard of a MIDI skirt. I think it's probably, you got minis, maxis, and I think you must have midis. Whereas I think of MIDI as being related to the hi-fi I had in the 1980s. Delicacy is not commonly available in dingy housing. Not commonly available. What? I mean, dingy housing is a bit of a pit, isn't it? Not sure about those two. I think that's going to remain. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's remained unsolved here. Just actually check how long I've been on. I've been 30 odd minutes on this already, and I've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 clues to do. Or put it another way, I've managed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, half, 7, 6.5, 7.5, 8, 9, 10, 11.5, 12, 12.5, maybe 13.5. I can't even count now. Not good though. Either way, less than half of it done in 30 odd minutes is not what I'm personally looking for from a Quiptic. It needs, for a Quiptic, I'd like it to be 20 to 25 minutes. Really, less than that is even better. It just wants to be a rip through, enjoyable laugh on a Sunday morning. But as ever, Anto has not really fulfilled the brief that I would like it to be, or expect it to be even. So, proving position is not right. Exhaust stick broken by stick. Fire that awful person. I've actually got rat as part of the anagram. No, let's have another look at it. I don't think it is, but let's do it anyway. Rat leaves me. Thief. Rat thief. Is that a word? Taking pictures. Something thief. Could be a thief though, couldn't it? Art thief. There we are. Okay, well, there you go. Art thief. Okay, very clever. Yes. I guess I just have to admit that I couldn't do the anagram, and it's actually quite a clever clue. And it probably is Quiptic worthy. I just couldn't undo that. Quite resilient is Hardy, isn't it? Is Hardy a comic author? I wouldn't have said Thomas Hardy's a comic author, so is there another Hardy? But I think Quite Resilient is Hardy. I don't know who that relates to, if it is. If it is, and that's a big if. Let's have a look at Paris Letting then. Getting very noisy beginning with E. Ear rattling or something? Ear. So, ear splitting, I think it is. Okay, fair enough. Boom, straight in there now. I mean, it's worth pointing out that actually I got to Art Thief with the wrong start answer. And that helped me out really get there. Ooh, that does look like spring could go there. What's this then? Let's have a look at this clue. I've got more here, haven't I? So, type of service frowned on in hairy location. Oh. Well, it could be like a church service, I suppose. A charming view, a charming, and then view at an angle. That can't be seen in square. Acute angle. Now, acute angle. Boom, straight in there. Early spring, that is. Again, couldn't do the anagram. What's that? Underarm? Type of service. Yes, underarm. I don't really understand what. Oh, okay. So you've got an underarm service in tennis. Wow, so what's that? Within what's that? The whole of that area's gone in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clues in a matter of not very long, which at least makes it look a bit more respectable. Abusive is intolerant in, being broke in, insolvent, insolent and insolvent. My word. It's something slow, isn't it, I suppose? Slow is difficult racing conditions. Going slow. Taking one's time is going slow. Oh my, this is... Wow, okay. So what's this? A craving. Agreed? Yeah, agreed is settled. Wow. Something not working. Done. English chap, not working. Done. Let's have a look at this one. Cringed, having brought drinks for about... Cringed. For about 800. Winced. Whined. Winced, okay. Dud. Dude. I'm kind of just laughing because I've gone from being literally, what was that, 5 minutes ago, saying I've just got so many answers undone here, to suddenly I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. Food, often seen walking around a farm. Pigs in blankets. Pigs, food, often seen walking around a farm. Pig trotters, I think that is. Not that I would consider that a... I don't know, is that right? Not convinced by that, but I mean, pig trotters. I'm tempted to go with wear down there, really. Exhaust is to wear down. And I feel a bit worn down by this crossword. Let's have a look at this, see if I can just check this one out. Proving position is hearing out. Proving. That could be wearing out as well. Is it out? Position is not right. Wearing out, hearing out, proving, seeing out. Wearing out, hearing out. What's proving? Proving is... Position is... is it out? I mean, it's not right. Missing out. I think I've just got to that point where I'm gonna just put that in as wear down, and I'm gonna check and see what I've got right and what I've got wrong. It's very rare for me to do that, but I feel like I've been on this a long time, and these two down here, I'm not sure I'm going to get to, but I'm going to just do the check and see. Yep, wear down it is. So, I mean, at this stage, yeah, hearing out. Well, that must have been out anyway, wasn't it? So, unlikely to be wearing out if it's wear down there. I don't really understand why. Proving, testing out. Let's not look at that. So what can I put? Bearing out. Yes, bearing out is, yeah, so if you take a bearing, compass bearing. Okay, so that just leaves these two. Somehow I've kind of got to the end without really knowing how I've got to the end. First class, date, passed without trouble. Gosh, okay, and this one, dingy housing, hovel, shed, delicacy, I mean, is not commonly available, is rare, not available, doesn't fit as NA, dingy housing, first class, date, pass without trouble. A little bit hard without those last couple of letters, isn't it? Where am I? I've been on this for about 40 minutes now, 42. I'm going to put this on pause and have a think to myself, because there's probably no point in just waffling. Okay, barely a minute, and I've concluded this is aced. So first class is ace, and D for date. Again, not seen that one really, but if you pass that trouble, you've aced it, aced the test, which just leaves delicacy, which would be dainty, available in dingy housing. Okay, so dingy housing there. Yes, of course. DY, the housing of, so the letters that start, not commonly. Delicacy, not commonly available is not commonly, it's ain't, they are dainty, I think. So there we go, I think that's it, all done. Yeah, all done. Wow, okay, there's some, that was a bizarre solve, as you saw. At 32, 33 minutes into that solve, I had over half the grid to do, and I've finished the rest of it in, next 10, 12 minutes really. I mean, I only had that one time I paused, I was only gone for less than a minute. So let's go through. Fire that, awful. So we've got an anagram of fire that, indicated by awful, and a person who takes pictures is an art thief. Fair enough. A craving is a greed. Greed is a craving. And if you settled something, you've agreed it. Type of service, so you get underarm services in tennis, and frowned on in hairy locations. So, but underarms, if you don't shave under the arms, Anto is saying that should be frowned upon, I think, which, I don't know, I suppose each their tastes. Cringed is winced. We've got bought drinks is wined, and about 100 is C for 100, Latin 100 there. Got an anagram of player rings to give us early springs. Around is just saying that's an anagram, and when the season is just starting is early spring. Refusal is no, taking A and then check CH, haven't seen that abbreviation. Tortilla is nacho. Abusive is insolent, putting it around V for Victor in the NATO phonetic alphabet gives it insolvent, which is being broke. Take care of is to look after, and your appearance at a later stage is your look afterwards. Look after. Got an acrostic here of we often report substandard electrical. Leeds is telling us it's an acrostic, and that's not so good, is worse. Forced is constrained, and criminals are cons, and get educated is trained. We've got coitus for sex here, and we've got in bed is cot with an I, and then us is use minus the E of energy. Exhaust is wear down. Broken by stick. Wear down. I don't understand that. The second half of that. I mean, if you exhaust something, you wear it down. Broken by stick. I assume that's some kind of double definition. Stick, wear down. Can't get that. Delicacy. Okay, that's being dainty, I suppose. Is not is ain't. So I think I've tried to put isn't in there before, and actually it's ain't. So the commonly version, and that's in dingy housing. So the D and the Y are the housing of dingy. We've got identifies is to isolate. So I suppose if you isolate an electrical circuit, you're identifying a specific part of it. I don't like it, but I can sort of see it as a synonym. IOS 2 is an anagram of isolates, and change is telling you to anagram it. We've got a charming view, so acute angle, and you won't see an acute angle in a square, for example, because a square has 4 right angles. So I kind of got there roundabout ways, because I started out with the right angle and couldn't quite pass it, so there we go. Got an anagram of T for time, and then VCR editor gives us a TV director, and TV work is telling us it's an anagram, and a program maker is a TV director. So quite resilient is Hardy, being Hardy. I don't know who the comic author is. I don't think of Thomas Hardy as being a comic author. Not sure about that. We've got reconstruction telling us an anagram of Paris letting, which gives us ear splitting, and things get very noisy then. There is splitting. Taking one's time is going slow, and reversing difficult racing conditions. I mean, difficult. You will be going slow with difficult racing conditions. I don't really know what the reversing bit is doing there. Yeah, not entirely sure. Preachings contain, so we've got a hidden word of each, not very hidden really, in preachings, something that's for everyone, so each and every one of us get one of those. Something not working is a dud, with English for E, gives you a dude, a chap, fair enough. Food often seen walking around farms, so pigs trotters, I'm not sure, do people still eat those? I guess pigs trotters do walk around the farm though. Proving is bearing out, so I've been, you bearing out your, if there's a problem, then, and if you said, well, this is what I think, you've been proven, you've been borne out to get there. And then a position is not right, so you take a bearing, you take a compass bearing when you're trying to get from A to B on a map, so if it's not right, it's going to be a bearing is out. We've got an anagram of attendance. Attendants are people who help, they help. And we've got stand a tent is an anagram of attendance, and knocked over is that anagram indicator. Again, getting credit, so you get credit, you get something given to you on account. A report is an account. Touching, I suppose, for touching a report, so it's on an account or something. Yeah, struggling to understand that one fully, but get the general gist of it. We've got an alternate letters. Regularly is telling us to take the alternate letters of value, of course. We've got the A, U, R, A, L. What's that? The second, fourth, sixth letters of value, and then the second and fourth of calls. And in relation to hearing is oral or aural, I'm not sure. First class is ace, and D for date. And passed without trouble is aced, you aced the test. And then finally we've got a skirt, type of skirt is a midi, and essentially it's saying taking the middle letters of limits and riding to get midi. So there we go. All done eventually. I'm not sure what to say that. I mean, it took me just over 42, 43 minutes to do, but at least half that grid went in the last 10 to 12 minutes really. So Anto once again proving a little bit difficult, but I did get there. Did have one check, which was partly really just to avoid wasting time, alphabet trawling something, and yeah, my guess on the way down. So I guess that wasn't too bad. So there we go.